uh, everybody's already talking about it. The Orlando shooting, there is a solidarity gathering happening. I'm sure plenty of places, but there's a big. I've been Lambda Legal and other folks had pictures and video from Twitter happening here in Atlanta. I don't want to really necessarily repeat what's already been said, but I want to talk about it from a mom's perspective. My daughter, this weekend, I was dropping my son off for summer camp, and my daughter and I, we heard the news. And when I heard the news, I'm with a bunch of kids. I'm with a bunch of kids ages 4 to 14, 15. And it's the older kids, the 10-year-old with us, my son and his friends, and my daughter and her friends, who were, of course, aware of what was happening. And the range in emotion with the kids. The boys are like, man, this is really depressing. That's awful. Can we watch soccer? They're 12. So it doesn't really, it didn't really hit them. I mean, it hit them, but they weren't really, they were just like, that's really bad. Those types of guns should not be legal. Can we watch soccer now? Okay. The young lady that was with us, she's 10. She was like emotional, because all those people, right? And she just was so full of emotion. It's so funny. The little girl, her feeling was the same as my daughter and her friends. They were wrought with emotion. But what was really interesting, thinking about being around the kids and thinking about conversations I have with my daughter, I keep telling her I'm going to start a little, I'm going to do a segment called Conversations with My Daughter. So this is my little few minutes right here, Conversations with My Daughter. This morning we were yesterday morning when I was driving her to her summer program, she showed me a Tumblr post, or maybe it was this morning. I can't remember. The days are blurring together. But it basically was tweets from one of the young men that was murdered to his mother, right? And she was so overcome with emotion. And it's very sad, right? It's hard not to be overcome with emotion. But as a parent, to watch your child feel pain and to process things that go on, right? It's one, you pat yourself on the back because it's like, wow, I'm raising a pretty decent human being here, better than a lot of the folks walking around making decisions. But two, you feel for them because you want to protect them from these types of things. You don't want your kids to have to think about the possibility if they hang out in certain places or if they are around certain people, or just there's no rhyme or reason to any of this stuff, right? So we can't necessarily, we can do our best, but I can't keep my kids safe. If some crazy person decides they want to go into their school or into the mall or the movie theater or a club, I can't protect my kids. And not having the answers as a parent, that's rough. That's rough. But the other thing that came out of our conversation was that she has a lot of friends who identify as a part of the community. We always say the mainstream is LGBT. Some people will say LGBTQ, but there's several other letters that are there that are often overlooked, not touched on, not addressed. And we need to have spaces for people to have conversations that are not necessarily just safe spaces over here that are removed from the main conversations we have about issues. We need to break down the barriers and have space for conversations to happen just in general. And I think that the one of the conversations that has come out of all this that she also raised with me is one, acknowledging that besides, you have LGBT, right? And a lot of times we only focus on the L and the G. Everyone else does not really get the same recognition, support, encouragement. You can list on. But in this case, which I've seen reiterated by so many people, that this is an issue, this is an incident that also overwhelmingly affected people of color who are a part of the community as well, right? I saw somebody had some tweets like, well, okay, that's really bad what happened, but Black people have been suffering. The fact that we are disregarding the fact that Black people and Latino people were the ones primarily affected, it's just, I don't know. It's just the people are just not thinking as a human being. I'm not really here for trading atrocities. I don't do that. My people have suffered more than your people thing. I'm a human being, and I believe that human beings have a right to exist, the right to live and thrive and be happy. And quite honestly, if you don't agree with that and you are sitting here trying to make justifications, rationalizations about why this isn't as bad as such and such, you should really check yourself. And if you're calling yourself a progressive, you really need to think again. Because there's a really great response from Black Lives Matter that I tweeted out earlier. I'll retweet it again. But this is not the time for those types of statements. It's very divisive. So that's just really kind of my thoughts on the issue. Like I said, we're moving forward. There's a lot of stuff that's going on, and all the work that's going forward, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be pretty. We're not going to all get along, happy all the time. But it's work that needs to be done. It is a big reward at the end of the rainbow, however far along it takes us to get there. And I'm excited.